Where do we start? Melbourne Victory. Welcome back to 1-0. Bit of a different mood around here because I don't often do A-League content. I'm a big Melbourne Victory fan. I've got a Matt Acton signed kit from the grand final a couple of years ago, Newcastle Jets, on the wall next to me. And it's, oh man, last night hurt. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Melbourne Victory lost 7-0 to Melbourne City. Melbourne Derby, we got pumped. We got shown to be absolutely useless and pointless. Okay? There's a better chance 1-0 FC head onto the pitch and we put in a better shift than that. So I don't want to call it a rant video. I do want you guys though to share it with someone, a Melbourne Victory fan. I want Victory fans to all unite. We all need to unite in this time because it's a position we're not used to being in, Victory fans. We've had a very blessed supporting period where we're the biggest team in Australia. We've won many titles. We've played Asian Champions League, but now we've hit the point where we're looking at the ocean and all we see is just black water. And if it's black water, it's not good. It's not good if it's black water. So I've slept on it. I've had time to reflect, and there's a lot of points that I want to address. Obviously, straight after the game, Di Pietro comes out and says, we've decided to part ways with Grant Bremner. Grant Bremner, I feel for you, buddy. He's a Melbourne Victory legend as a player, obviously. And he came into that job. He didn't even want it. We brought him in after we said in the postseason last year, after we said that we are going to go on an extensive period and an extensive search overseas. We've got to go abroad and look for a manager. We then came back, so we've pretty much told him, look, you're not the right man for the job. We then came back to him and said, look, we couldn't find anyone. No one wants to come. We either couldn't pay them enough, or we just were lazy and we couldn't find anyone. So what we've done is told our gaffer, Grant Bremner, who's done wonders at Victory as a player. His OG days, he's been there for years. He was assistant before he got the main job. We've told him, see us out for the rest of the season. Okay, cool, thank you. We're going to go abroad to try and find someone. We come back and say we cannot find anybody. And then we put him in that position. Brebs is probably sitting there saying, what the fuck do I have to do, man? Like, that, as a fan, you're telling... I've been a member for 11, 12 years now. The A-League's been around for like 13 or something. Or not even, I don't know. You've gone and told your manager that we don't want you, but we're going to go find someone else. You've gone and told your fans that we're going to go abroad. You've got the fans' hopes up. It's not that we didn't want Bremner, but it's Victory is a club that should draw the big names, okay? We've seen Toivonen, we've seen, Barbarouses, James Trevisi, these players, Terry Antonis, Harry Kuehl. We've attracted big name players. We've attracted good players to the club. You can't go and find a coach. So I don't blame anything on Bremner, to be honest with you. I do not blame him once. Because we set him up to fail. We alley-ooped him and we just dunked it into the floor. We missed the net and we just hammered him to the ground. There's not much more he could have done. Yes, okay, he might have signed the players. How much the players that he signed. But again, we've gone and signed. Ryan Shodden. He's been injured most of the year. He's been terrible. He came from Middlesbrough. He played in England. 32 years old. He's just slow. The league is speeding up. The league is getting faster because the league is also getting younger, which is why Central Coast Mariners are doing well this year. Rudy Gestede, he's come in, awesome. He says, I want to be better than Ola Toivonen. He's been injured all year too. So we have had our share of injuries. Rojas was abysmal when he was playing, gets injured. We got the likes of Robbie Cruz. Man, he tries. We got Elvis Camsoba a couple of weeks ago. We copped a 4-0 loss. He was out clubbing. I mean, like, what, really? Like, fuck, Victory is fortunate enough that we're a club where even when we're not great, fans are going to go. Now, like, I'll admit, I wasn't at the game last night because it was a Melbourne City home game and it means I've got to buy tickets. I've got a membership, but it means I've got to buy tickets because there's a City game. And honestly, I'm not willing to put any more into that until there's changes that are made. I'm going to get a membership again next year because it's a club I grew up watching. But until we were quiet, our board was quiet this whole time. We got pumped to Sydney. We got hammered just Newcastle were bad. Western United, we got hammered again. Every game, we're last on the ladder. Melbourne Victory is not last. We should not be last on the ladder. We're Melbourne Victory. And maybe it's something that we're going to have to realise. I think we'll be in this period for a while. I do not see us get a new coach in, we fight for the six again, and we fight for the title. I think we are so far in the mud that you look up and you can't see, you just see black. I think there's the people that need to go from the top. You've had your time. You've done wonders. You've done a really good job. You've been awesome. I think it's a similar situation to Eddie Maguire in the footy with Collingwood. You've had your time. You want to keep on doing things your way, but there's a moment in time where you also need to realise maybe it's best for me to leave. Because who do we sign? Who are we going to get as coach now? Who do we get? Popovich doesn't have a job. Popovich going to want to come and coach Melbourne Victory and stay wearing? No. Muscat's happy overseas. He's not coming back. I mean, there's rumours that Joe Montemurro, because he said he's got to take a year off from the Arsenal women's team to come back and spend time with family. He's not going to want to coach Victory. If he's got to spend time with family, he's not going to want to coach Victory, because we could absolutely reel his head in if he's not performing, and the media will damage him, and then he's got to go, no, screw that, because he's got to come in with a bad team. The team is dreadful. Those huge raps of Ben Falami. He was a young Aussie striker, been playing in England. He's coming and saying, It highlights our problem with deeper grassroots football with NPL and all that sort of stuff too, because Elvis Kamsoba was doing wonders NPL. He can't kick a ball. And I hate to say I've obviously got a Melbourne people from Melbourne Victory on this channel before, and I hate it. I know a couple of people following Instagram who are working for Victory, and it's hard, man. It's just, there's a difference in being bad but having a bit of a clear path, and there's a difference in being bad and being spoken to and feel like you're getting acknowledged. But there's a huge difference that is very, very different when you're bad and it's all silent. And we continue to have these chairman functions, which are just all for the sponsors. We've got Michael Zarafa, the boxer, who's always putting it on his Instagram saying, oh, look how good Melbourne Victory is. And how many games have those people gone to? How many Saturday freezing nights have they gone to? How many Friday night freezing games have they gone to? Were they there when there was 4,000 people at a game? Did they go and see Wellington Phoenix play and no one could have named someone from their team? Give the fans something to say. You take away the active support. I'm not part of those terraces, whatever they're called. I'm not part of them. But you took those away. And again, with zero explanation. Why? Oh, because a bit of trouble. Well, what do you want them to do? Yeah, don't be stupid. I admit they're a bit stupid when they want. But don't take away fans. You're taking away fans for nothing because we need a good representation of the club. That's bullshit, man. Speak to them properly. Just use your voice. It's so many changes need to be made. So many changes. Half of the players in this Victory team now, if I'd give them another contract, I will not give them another contract because they're just not good enough. We've still got Lee Broxton. I love Lee Broxton. Cult hero at Victory. He's our best player week in, week out. How? He's played for like 40 years now. We're bringing in new players. What it's really highlighted is that the Victory team that we had a couple of years ago with Terry Antonis, Barbarouses, Troisi, we took that a bit for granted, I think. With Barisha. I think we got a little bit too big for our boots. And as Stormzy said, you're never too big for your boots. We let Barbarouses go because we didn't want to give him any money. Who did we bring in? We bring in players who, would they sell more shirts? Maybe. But we brought in players that haven't played in the A-League before. We brought in players that just kind of came just because Australia's sunny and stuff. It's just painful to see. It's just, I know there's like points that it's easy to target and to like have a proper discussion with, but it's I'd love to get someone from a part of Victory, a big Victory fan on the channel, on the podcast, and actually just talk about it, because I feel like this is just a one-off year. I don't think it's a one-off year where it's look, we're not good. We've had injuries. I think for the next 3, 4, 5 years, we could find ourselves in a similar position. Similar position in the sense we're just rinsing through managers. We're trying to sign players. These players have got to give us 100%, but they got to get injured because they're like 33, 34 years old, and we're trying to get them to play a game every week. Look, I don't want to dive into like the financial side of it and the stuff, because obviously no one knows facts except for the people that are dealing with it. But COVID obviously was a huge hit, and how much of this has got to do with COVID in the sense of we're going to finish last. So no Asian football again. Memberships next year, you assume, will probably decrease. And I just feel like fans have just been absolutely shat on, to put it in a worse way. Fans have just been disregarded, disrespected. And it's just the same nonsense. 7-0, man. 7-0. Yes, we had 10 men a bit, but the fan... I don't know, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bit of a ramble. It's not the greatest video I'm ever going to make, but it's one I had to get off my chest. It's Victory, I think, are very, very far in struggle town. And I think we're in a bit of a bubble as well, Victory. I think changes need to be made higher up, and they need to happen quick, because if they don't happen quick, the largest club in Australia, I think, could go down the shitter. And, I don't want to jump too far, like it's a grassroots and all that, but if Melbourne Victory, the biggest club in Australia, the best club in Melbourne, are doing bad and they're finishing last, how many kids do you reckon are going to say, Dad, let's go to the Melbourne Victory game? Not many. Not many. Let's go across the road and watch Richmond vs Carlton. I mean, I was at the footy instead on Saturday night because I knew we were going to get pumped. I still was checking on my phone. Huge fan, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I've watched every game this year. But it's abysmal. Melbourne Victory, it's abysmal. We needed to talk, Melbourne Victory. I want you to share, if you can, share it with someone. If you're a Victory fan, if you are a Victory fan, drop in the comments what needs to improve. What needs to change? Do we just play the youth? Yes, sweet, play the youth. And then we let Markovic go to Western United for nothing. He was one of the few positives out of left back. One of the few positives out of this year. Good little player. Markovic joins Western United halfway through the year, and we just let... We are far... Well, goalkeepers. Oh, my God. Oh, I could be here all day, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. Share it with, Victory fan. Share it with... Mate, send it to the club if you want. If it ruins possible interviews or something down the line, it doesn't bother me, because I've given my all to that club. And it hurts. It does hurt. But this is the highs and lows of being a football fan. Melbourne Victory, things need to change. They need to change quick. It's got to start from up to the bottom. Grant Bremner, I feel for you. You tried, Victory legend. You got thrown under the bus a little bit though. Head up, we move on, because hopefully I don't have to make another one of these Melbourne Victory videos in sense of a negative manner. I want to get back to the matchday vlogs, but I just haven't had, I don't want to... I've recorded a few, but I haven't uploaded them because I just start sulking at the end of them and start ranting and it's just not fun. It's not good to watch. It's not fun to record, not fun to edit. So things need to change, because as soon as football's not fun to go to, it's when things start to go to shit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like. Not all the videos are like this, because soon, I don't know when you're watching this, but soon there'll be a new 1-0 FC video, round 3, huge game, coming off a 7-1 loss, so it's big, Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I'm Costa, Melbourne Victory, you need to change. Things need to happen quick. Thank you.